Hello racing fans, and a warm welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for this Saturday, the 27th of January. Of course, that big day has arrived since the beginning of the Cape summer season. We all look forward to this day at the end of January. It is the 2024 renewal of the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met and a number of other big feature races on the card. Before we get to chat to Graham, let's just give you the lowdown on what's happening. Of course, it is the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met with 8 other blockbuster features, 2 million rand tab pick 6 carryover, likely pool 10 million, that will be in race number 4, 1 million rand tab quartet carryover to the main race, which is race number 9, that quartet estimated to reach 4 million, and then it is bet with tab into the biggest tote pools on the planet, which is the Hong Kong Whirlpool event. What a day it promises to be for you, the valiant racing fan, and looking forward to it. And Graham has been studying up a storm, he tells me, and he's really looking forward to previewing this card. Graham, the day has arrived. Good day to you.
Yes, Dees, the day has arrived, and it promises to be a fantastic day. The weather forecast is very good, very warm with a light breeze around, so the stage is set for a really, really good day's racing.
Well, let's get straight into it, Graham. Race number 1 will kick off jackpot 1, so be reminded, 11:55. There are 3 jackpots on offer on the day, and this is the Summer Juvenile Stakes, a listed race over 1,100 meters. At the time of recording, number 1 is a scratching, number 2 at 16-10, horse number 8 at 7-2. Then we go on to number 12 at 7-1, 15 at 7-1, and note the reserve runner now gets in number 17, Winds of Change, to be partnered by Muzieni. Well, the betting market suggests that it could be these 2 horses to fight it out, Graham, Lion Rampart and Roman Agent. Is there anything else that we need to be concerned about?
Look, Roman Agent and Lion Rampart, definitely the top 2 choices, but I don't think you can discard Peter Muscat's runner, Cold Shine, likely Daniel Muscat in town to ride. Very good debut and beaten only half a length by Roman Agent. That was Cold Shine's first run, Roman Agent's second run, so you can expect improvement from Cold Shine. So he has to go into the mix. I don't think you can ignore the chances of the filly number 15, Sweetie Darling. She enjoys a bit of a pull of the weights. She's very decent. She's very highly regarded. In my view, she's very much alive. And then if you're going to throw in one other, number 9, Earn Bell D. I know he should be held by both Lion Rampart and Roman Agent, but he looks progressive and he could surprise. As you've mentioned, this is the first leg of Jackpot 1. My top choice is number 8, Roman Agent. I think he's going to appreciate going the extra 100 meters. He looks smart, he looks progressive. Lion Rampart is my second choice. He's still very green. He ducks left, he ducks right. But Richard Faree sounds confident when talking to him in the week. And Lion Rampart is obviously the principal threat to Roman Agent. But I'm going to include Cold Shine, Sweetie Darling, and Earn Bell D.
Well, there are 2 runners that Graham has picked out there. Just the anti-post betting market shorteners on Hollywood bets in race number 1. Lion Rampart from 22-10 into 16-10. Play Act from 40-1 into 20-1. And Winds of Change, that reserve runner, from 20-1 into 10-1. Let's move along to race number 2, Graham. This will kick off bar pot 1. It is the Sales Cape Slipper, a Cape Racing Sales Cape Slipper. It's over 1,200 meters. A lot of unknowns in this field, which makes it a bit difficult. But at the time of recording, horses in single figures, number 6, Talk to the Master, is trading at 9-2. Horse number 11 at 7-2. And then Handsome Prince, Graham, has attracted some betting support anti-post. Handsome Prince is shortened from 7-2 into 5-2. Well, just like the first race, we mentioned those horses with a line of form. Could we see the same in this race, that form holding up with numbers 6 and 19?
Well, as you've mentioned, there's so many first-timers, so many unknowns. We're going to have to rely on that form line. Talk to the Master, number 6 and 19, Handsome Prince. They ran first and second. Again, it was Talk to the Master's debut, whereas Handsome Prince was having his second run. Handsome Prince beating comfortably by a length and a half, but you have to believe there will be a lot of improvement to come from number 6, Talk to the Master. So I'm expecting it to be a close call. I think the value lies with number 6, Talk to the Master, but Handsome Prince is just that. He's very well named. He's a very good-looking son of Karari. I'm going for number 6, Talk to the Master, to beat number 19, Handsome Prince, but those are the two that you have to throw into the second leg of Jackpot 1. Those are the two that you've got to include in the first leg of Bipot 1. We don't know too much about the first-timers. It is interesting that number 16, Lord Byron, is a half-brother to the ruling Met favourite See It Again, but the market suggests he's not fancied and will need this run.
So Graham expecting a form result here in race number 2, and that form to hold up between Handsome Prince and Talk to the Master, race number 2. The third race starts off the place accumulator, and just having a look at this place accumulator, there looks to be a lot of legs where you can go short in, but if you find a result in a few of the races, then you're sure to drop tickets. Race number 3 is the Schweppes Politician Stakes. It's a Group 3 over 1,800 meters. At the time of recording, let's go with horses in single figures. Well, number 6 has attracted betting support, anti-post Hollywoodbets from 7-1. That is shortened into 11-2. Horse number 8, Green with Envy, another active horse in the betting, 22-10. 14-10 now. A lot of money for Dean Kanemayo's runner. Number 9 at 5-1 and horse number 13 at 8-1. This horse, Green with Envy, Graham, from day one, he's obviously grabbed our attention just the way he finished off his race. And it was good to see him follow up at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. What have you made of his runs in those feature races, like the Selangor, which I think is now called the Cape Punters Cup, if I'm not mistaken, the Classic, and of course the Guineas?
Look, he's earned his rating. He's earned the weight that he'll carry in this year's renewal of the Politician Stakes with those performances in Grade 1 company. He wasn't disgraced, obviously, beaten narrowly by Schlusslui in the Cape Punters Cup, and then fourth behind Snow Pilot in the Cape Guinea. So those were sound efforts. He's out of a mare by Galileo. There's always been this feeling that the further Green with Envy goes, that the better he'll be, and that he's a very much alive Derby prospect. But he's got to give a lot of weight away here. And again, we come back to the question of the lack of winning form from the Dean Kanemayer stable. I chatted to Dean in the week. He is pulling his hair out. He's never been through such a tough run before. And of course, coming at the height of the Cape summer season, that's not easy to deal with. And he's got some nice runners today, including, of course, this one, Green with Envy, who's a firm favourite. Fantastic a little bit later on, who has been running well. So Green Envy is the key horse in the race. When you look past him, the waters become quite murky. So you have to ask yourself, do I go and put it all in with Green Envy? Or do I take into account that the Dean Kanemayer stable has not been at their very, very best, that he's got to give weight away, and that brings other horses into the race with a chance? So let's give a few others a mention. The Grey King has got to step up, but he's drawn in Gate 1. He gets the services of Richard Free. He's on a hat-trick. He's very well related. He's out of a mare, an Australian-bred mare by Redoubt's Choice. He should continue to improve, but I fancy he's got more to do here. Holding Thumbs won a weak maiden. That form has not been franked, but Glenn Cotson, his eyes light up when you talk about Holding Thumbs. Maybe this race has come too soon for him, but he's very, very highly thought of. Get Impressed, you've mentioned the money. Stable Companion, Call to Unite has got to be considered. And then one that I really think will go well is the filly Fatal Gem. She carries just 53 kilograms. She receives 7 kilograms with Green with Envy. So whatever you do, don't ignore the chances of Fatal Gem. So it's a little more tricky than the paper would suggest. Green with Envy tops the best weighted column. Not comfortably, only by a couple of pounds ahead of Fatal Gem. Hat's Pride, who ran a super race in the Guineas, goes more ground. So it's perhaps a little bit more tricky than the betting would suggest. I'm going to make Green with Envy my top choice, but I do so not with a great deal of confidence. Fatal Gem was my second choice, Call to Unite my third choice, and Holding Thumbs my fourth choice. But as I said, when you look past Green with Envy, the waters do become a little murky. So not an easy race, and you've got to decide for yourself how you're going to play the first leg of the Place Accumulator, how you're going to play the third leg of Jackpot 1. But I would be hesitant about throwing it all in with Green with Envy, although it does remain the obvious first choice.
I think just reading between Graham's comments there, what he's saying is that if it turns for Dean Kannemeyer on this big day, it could be Green with Envy to the fore. But it's for you to make the decision whether you're going to banker this or not. He's giving you a few horses if you're going to run for cover there. But the horse has been supported 22-10 into 14-10. The big one, the pick six. Wow. 2 million into the carryover. 10 million is the estimate. 1340, 20-2, 1400 meters. And how are they betting in leg one of this pick six? Well, horses in single figures. Number 3, Pomodora's Jet, Hollywoodbets 16-1 into 8-1. Number 4 at 5-2. Number 6, Quasi for sure, opened up 5-1, now trading at 3-1, Hollywoodbets. Then we go on to horse number 13 at 8-1, and it's double figures, the balance. Graham, the first leg of the pick six, it's always nervous, more than any other day because of the size of the pool. You want to survive the first leg and, see what happens in the next 5 legs. How can we be, quite confident with how many horses would you think here in leg number 1 that you'll be pretty confident that you're going to get through?
Well, I think to be absolutely sure, I think you need 6 horses, but I'm only going with 3. As you said, this is the first leg of the carryover pick 6. It's a world pool race day, so all of the tote pools are going to be massive. The pick 6 is going to be massive, as you say. You don't really want to go out of the pick 6. Now, when I first looked at the race, I thought that number 4, At My Command, would be a penalty kick. He's been without a win for 500 days, but he's run against the very best in defeat. He's drawn in gate 4, and the Brett Crawford stable is absolutely flying. At My Command was entered for the WSB Cape Town Met. He sidestepped that race to run here to get him back into the winner's box. And I thought at first that this race was at his mercy. But then you look at Quasi for sure. He's very, very good, is Quasi for sure. He meets At My Command at level weights. At My Command heads the best weighted column by quite a distance. So Quasi for sure has got to be on his very best game. Captain Fontaine, that can improve, carries 60. Silver Operator, 6 starts over course and distance for 5 wins. Meets At My Command at level weights and has the tricky draw of 11 to contend with. Underworld, 52.5, not much between him and Silver Operator on their last run. But again, a very tricky draw for Underworld, drawn gate 13. So I'm going to include numbers 4, At My Command, and 6, Quasi for sure. They meet at level weights. I'm going to throw in, though, the horse that has been attracting support that's just got 51.5 on its back, and that is At My Command stable companion number 3, Pomodora's Jet. He's won his last 2. Whether he's up to challenging the best in this lineup is open to question, but he's cracked gate number 3 and is receiving 10 kilograms from At My Command and Quasi for sure. So I'm happy to include the 2 top weights, At My Command and Quasi for sure. I'm going with one of the lightweights. That's number 3, Pomodora's Jet. I'm banking on the fact that his drawn in gate 3 will get the better of fellow lightweight number 13, Underworld, who's faced with gate 13. But you can't entirely ignore Captain Fontaine and Silver Operator. So I've kind of shifted my position. When I first looked at the race, I thought, oh, well, we've got At My Command, a banker in the opening leg of the carryover pick 6, and we've got, obviously, see it again, a banker in the closing leg of the carryover pick 6. But there's been so much talk around for Quasi for sure, and I respect the talk, so I'm going to throw him in and just then include, once I'm including a second, then I'm going to include the stable companion to At My Command, races in the same silks, the Kaya stable silks, so I'm going to include Pomodora's Jet. So first leg of the carryover pick 6 for me, numbers 3, 4 and 6, but At My Command remains my very firm first choice.
Thanks to Graham for that. You can jot down his numbers there for race number 4, and all the best to you, the racing fan, the valued racing fan, on your pick 6 sperm. Hopefully it turns out to be a winning one. Race number 5, 1200 meters, Olympic Duel Stakes listed race sponsored by Pongras. 1200 meters. Now, this is a hot race. I say this because number 2 is at 8-1. Number 3 is at 7-1. Graham, listen out for this. Winter Cloud is now at 15-10 after opening up at 3-1. There's been a flood of betting support on this filly. Then we go on to horse number 12 at 7-1, and it's double figures the balance. I must add that numbers 8 and 11 are scratched at the time of recording. And the first question will be, Graham, okay, let me just put it this way. I think Justin Snaith and Candace Bass Robinson, with the couplings, they seem to have a very strong hand. But this support that has come for Winter Cloud, she's just distanced herself from the balance of the field when it comes to the betting, Graham.
Yes, she has, and she's entitled to be at the top of the boards. This is the first leg of Jackpot 2. Just a reminder, first leg of Jackpot 2, as you mentioned earlier, we've got 3 jackpots on the day. We've got 2 bipots, and it's a whirlpool race day, so a flurry of betting activity. And this race is another very interesting race. Winter Cloud entitled to be at the top of the boards. Elder de Meyer committed to getting down to 56.5 kilos. We know that's a very tough task for him, so that speaks volumes for the chances of Winter Cloud. Richard Fourie hasn't taken a ride in this race. He's declared openly that he's sitting on the sidelines in case Elder de Meyer doesn't get down to the right weight. He wants to pick up the rider number 5, Winter Cloud. So she is the very firm first choice, but it's not a one-horse race. I think that stable companion number 2, Distant Winter, she's had 2 runs over the track and trip for a win in a second, and she's never been too far behind Winter Cloud. So she is inferior to Winter Cloud, but races are run on turf and not always on paper. Now, the Drakenstein stud as owners and breeders have been in terrific form. They owned and bred Distant Winter. They own and bred Winter Cloud. They also own and bred Hunting Trip, not without a chance. Met a very strong field when beaten 4 lengths by Thunderstruck and Isi Vungu Vungu. They, of course, clash again in the Cape Flying Championships. Don't discount entirely the chances of number 3, Hunting Trip. And then I mentioned earlier that Dean Caname has got 2 very nice runners on the day. He's trying to find his way back into the winner's enclosure. We've discussed Green with Envy earlier. Fantastic has been running supremely well. She's very much at home over track and trip, and although she's got 61 on her back, and at the weights will find it very tough to beat Winter Cloud, you can't ignore Fantastic. So I'm going with 4 runners. I'm going in numerical orders with numbers 2, 3, 5 and 12 in my play. That's as far as the pick 6 is concerned. Jackpot 2, I'm probably going to take a chance here because you're going to have to mix and match your betting style and structures. I'm probably going to take a chance in Jackpot 2 by bankering number 5, Winter Cloud, but not in the pick 6. I'm going to include all of numbers 2, 3, 5 and 12. But Winter Cloud, a lot of confidence around. He should get the job done.
Well, if you want to follow the money, you're only going to follow one horse here in race number 5. Jackpot 2 kicks off, and it could be a bank up, number 5, Winter Cloud. Then on to Bipot 2, which is race number 6, the Whirlpool Cape Flying Championship. And it's a Group 1 over 5 furlongs. The way they're betting here is very simple, Graham. Number 8, Thunderstruck at 22-10. Number 9, Isi Vungu Vungu at 15-10. And you will get double figures, the balance of the field. Yeah, this is it, Graham. Thunderstruck and Isi Vungu Vungu will renew their rivalry. Can the reigning Equus champion sprinter of last season reverse the form on that last start? He was coming off a long break, Graham, and I thought it was a superb performance considering the layoff.
I think with the benefit of that run under his belt, felt Isi Vungu Vungu could well have the measure of Thunderstruck. They're both supremely high-quality sprinters. They're both Grade 1 winners in their own right. As you mentioned, Isi Vungu Vungu is our champion sprinter. So he should get the measure of Thunderstruck, particularly as I do believe, notwithstanding his very good last win in the Winchester Mansion Cup, I do believe that Thunderstruck is probably a little bit better beyond 1,000 meters, up to 6 furlongs. He's probably at his very best over 1,200 meters. But there won't be much in it. They're drawn alongside each other. Stratham and Faree will be able to eyeball each other coming out of the gates. I'm sure that Isi Vungu Vungu is going to go forward from the start, and Pierre Stratham will just sit a half a length behind him or so on Thunderstruck. So these two obviously dominate the race. But I'm going to have one horse in my pick six as a safety net, and that's the in-form Adam Marcus's number 6, Bereave. He's never too far behind them. He was under a length behind them last time. He's won graded races in the past. Adam Marcus has trained Grade 1 winners. He's had 2 Grade 1 winners from limited opportunity in his training career. He would love a third. So, albeit that everybody, quite rightly, is billing it as a match race between 9 Isi Vungu Vungu, 8 Thunderstruck, and they preferred in that order, I'm going to throw in number 6, Bereave, just in case there's a little turn up for the books here. Number 4, Dice, and number 11, Sergey, definitely worth a mention. Dice, of course, caught the eye earlier in the season. He travels from the Highveld. He's very, very quick. He's highly rated. He's rated alongside of Isi Vungu Vungu. Whether the handicappers have got their sums right, only this race will show. And Sergey, like Bereave, never too far off the action. So definitely Isi Vungu Vungu, the top choice ahead of number 8 Thunderstruck. I'm going to cover with just one horse, and that's number 6 Bereave.
So that could be the result that you need to drop tickets if Bereave has to arrive. But I agree with Graham. If you're looking for further cover, you're saying, well, maybe there could be a result here. Number 4, Dice, who is joint in the top best weighted column with Isi Vungu Vungu, has to go in. And Sergey, yeah, he's a solid horse, isn't he? Horse number 11 from the Brett Crawford stable. Race number 7 is the City of Cape Town Majorca Stakes. It's over 1,600 meters, one of the premier Group 1 races for fillies over a mile on the South African racing calendar. And the betting here, Graham, well, number 2, Happy Chance, Hollywoodbets, that's shortened 16 to 1 into 12 to 1, so that's worth a mention. Number 4, Red Palace at 5 to 1. 5, Princess Kala, the reigning horse of the year, is at 17 to 10. And then we got horse number 11, Beach Bomb, at 28 to 10. Candice Bass Robinson, she's got some really good fillies in her care, Graham, especially these 2 3-year-old fillies, Red Palace and Beach Bomb. And we saw what Beach Bomb is capable of now that she has been stepped up to group company. Her last 2 wins have just been out the top draw, Graham. Princess Keller, she's yet to win this season. She's making us wait, Graham. Could it be on Saturday?
I think it's to advantage that they're stepping back to 1,600 meters. I know she was comfortably beaten in the Greenpoint Stakes by See It Again, but that was obviously in the very highest of quality. Charles Dickens was only a head in front of her on that occasion. So Princess Keller, back over 1,600 meters, could get back into the winner's enclosure. She's looking to push her earnings to beyond the R5 million mark. She's the reigning horse of the year, and she's entitled to be favourite. But Beach Bomb, well, she's on a hat-trick of Grade 1 wins. She won the Fillies Guinea, she won the Paddock Stakes, so you have to respect the fact that she's a fast improving 3-year-old, and that perhaps Princess Keller, now 6, is possibly not at her brilliant best. There shouldn't be too much to choose between them. I'm in the camp of number 5, Princess Keller, now that they step back 200 meters to 1,600. But don't ignore Red Palace. I think the wrong tactics were adopted in the Paddock Stakes. They threw away a chance to win that race and dictate the pace. When you judge her on the cold skin is behind Snow Pilot, then she comes into the race with a huge chance. So Red Palace also goes into the play for me. Happy Chance, I'm not surprised that there's been a bit of a speculative nibble at big prices, because strictly on the form of the Paddock Stakes, she's not too far behind Princess Keller and Beach Bomb. Happy Chance ran out of her skin that day, but it was a muddy race, and I'm expecting over this trip of 1,600 meters for Princess Keller and Beach Bomb to confirm the form. Make It Snappy has to get a mention. She's only had 6 starts in her life. She's won 4 of them. She's a multiple Grade 1 winner. She won the Fillies Guineas as a 3-year-old. She won the Paddock Stakes as a 3-year-old. She then ran not too far off Jet Dark in last year's Cape Met. She hasn't been seen since, and it would be a hell of a training feat for Brett Crawford to bring her back, this daughter of Dynasty, to win a Grade 1 without a single prep race for over a year. But she deserves a mention. The market suggests that she's not all that well fancied, but would it be a huge shock if Make It Snappy was to come out and win? She's got all the credentials, she's got the rating, but it would be a massive training feat. So for me, it's Princess Keller to get home ahead of Beach Bomb, Red Palace, and Happy Chance. I'm hoping Princess Keller can finally register her next career victory and at least, as the reigning horse of the year, win a race of this nature.
Well, Graham making Candace Bass Robinson's 3-year-olds the big dangers to number 5, Princess Keller. That's race number 7. Now, race number 8, Graham spoke about the 3 jackpots. Well, this is the start of jackpot 3, 1,600 meters, Cape Racing Gold Rush. Now, hear this, if you haven't seen whatever form guide you're using, maybe they don't have the stakes. 7.5 million rand, first stake check, 5 million. That is what they're racing for here, the richest race on the African continent. Graham, the betting in this race tells a story, because if you are a guy that, uses it as a guide, you'll be able to limit your spend here in the pick 6. But number 7, Infrared, from 16 to 1 is shortened into 12 to 1. This horse, Tail of the Comet, number 8, is at 22 to 10. Now listen to this, Graham. Bavarian Beauty opened up 7 to 2. And that is shortened into 18 to 10 on Hollywoodbets. 11, Winter Rainfall, is at 6 to 1, and it is double figures the balance. At the time of recording, 16, 18, and 19 are scratched. 17 comes into the race with Bernard Fader. Graham, Bavarian Beauty, they can't stop backing her, and she will be having her first run back in Cape Town. If you can recall, she did debut there. But what you make of her on what she's shown to date, and of course, the fact that she's been off now for, we'll call it 2.5 months, Graham, after that first win this season with Pierce Trader, which was a good win. And we know that she's a Group 1 winner as a 2-year-old. What you make of her in this type of field, which is obviously a restricted race when it comes to horses. You need to have a ticket, and you need to buy that ticket in order to qualify your horse for the race. And they've got a ticket, they've got a chance. But what you make of her against this type of field, Graham?
Well, this is the make or break race for the exotics. As you've mentioned, it's the first leg of Jackpot 3. It's the penultimate leg of the Pick 6. Do you bank a Bavarian Beauty? The money speaks volumes. Her reputation speaks volumes. As you mentioned, she made her debut at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth back on the 26th of April last year, but that was down the straight. This will be her first run round a left-handed turn. She's got an awkward draw of 10. Pierce Stradham, he rides Thunderstruck, he rides See It Again, he rides Bavarian Beauty. What a day Pierce Stradham is looking forward to. There's even rumours coming out of the stable that this is better than Summer Pudding. I don't know whether I can believe those quite yet, but the confidence is there. So pretty much Bavarian Beauty, banker or bust, because as you've mentioned, this is a 7.5 million rand race. It's attracted a full field. It's going to be a rough race. No quarter given, no quarter asked, and luck in running is going to play a role. Now, Pierce Stradham can avoid the luck part of it, because I'm sure that Bavarian Beauty is going to go forward. So, first run on a left-handed track. She is a Grade 1 winner as a 2-year-old. She earned a rating as a result of that. Pleasing comeback runner, only run as a 3-year-old over 1,400 meters, but it was in a modest field, and she was receiving weight from a horse called Another Level, and she was expected to win that day, even though she drifted slightly in the market. So I need your help here, Dees. Do we go all in with Bavarian Beauty, or do we decide to run for a little bit of cover? Now, in my suggested pick 6 sperm, I've run for a little bit of cover, although I've included the scratching number 16 Storm Brasco just to double up in case Bavarian Beauty gets the job done. They won't hear of defeat. They're expecting her to win and to grab that R5 million first prize, which will push her earnings up significantly. As you mentioned, this is the richest race on the African continent. So what are the other horses that I'm considering for inclusion? And these need to also be considered, obviously, for trifecta, quartet, and exacta purposes. I'm going to throw in number 4, Sunshine Day. The run that interests me is when they backed Sunshine Day to beat Gimme Another. If you go back 3 rounds, that was the only time that Sunshine Day has run over the trip. And that's the other point here, Dees, is that so many of these horses are untried or untested over 1,600 meters. Bavarian Beauty, of course, won her grade 1 over 1,600 meters. But Sunshine Day's run behind Gimme Another interests me, so I'm going to throw that in from a neat draw. You mentioned the money for Infrared. Now, they believe this Son of Twice Over to be a hell of a lot better than his current rating. So Infrared, there's a lot of confidence around for Infrared. So throw that into the mix, particularly from trifectas and quartets perspective. Tail of the Comet, he's got the class, he's got the ability. They're throwing the kitchen sink at him. The additional equipment since the card was printed, compression mask, tongue tie. Sure. Richard Fareed's going to try and settle him. If he settles, then he could prove the form of his last 2 1,600-meter races all wrong. He did win the ready-to-run race here comfortably by nearly 5 lengths, and he's got a huge reputation, and he's quite possibly the biggest threat to Bavarian Beauty. I'm going to throw in Rapidash only because of the fact that he's got form over the trip. He's got an awkward draw, but you ignore Justin Nathan Grant for Nick Eck at your peril. So, again, like with Green Envy earlier in the Politician Stakes, the right horse in the race is Bavarian Beauty. But second run this season, first on the left-handed track, rough race. Hopefully she escapes whatever goes on behind her by going forward in the running and has a very, very clean race and comes out on top, because that's what the connections are expecting. So I'm going with 10 Bavarian Beauty to beat home number 8 Tail of the Comet, then number 7 Infrared, and number 4 Sunshine Day, throwing number 13 Rapidash into the mix, chiefly for trifecta and quartet purposes. But you never know. These kind of races, they can produce an upset result. Royal Aussie, of course, won this race last year. He runs in the Met, so it's a quality race, despite the fact that it's a restricted race. So, Bavarian Beauty or bust.
Yeah, Graham, you've asked for some help here. I've jotted down my numbers already. 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And I agree with you 100% with number 7, Infrared. That's my value bet on the card. And the reason being, you can't read anything into his rating. He's taking on horses that have already achieved. By that, I simply mean that when you run as a 2-year-old, you run well, you run close, or even if you win, your rating's going to be high. And he's only started off his engine as a 3-year-old. I think there's plenty more to come from him. And the fact is, he's won over 1,600 meters at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and he's run over 1,400 meters here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, where he's been running on smartly. Like the horse a lot, Graham, at 12-1 now, no more 16-1, and Graham has singled that out as a big danger to the 2 that are top of the betting board. So we're in agreement there in race number 8. Then on to the main event, the big one. It is the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met 2,000 meters. It's a Group 1, and just the unfortunate scratching of horse number 5, Bless My Stars. We got 12 runners that go to post, Graham. The betting here, number 3 at 7-1. Horse number 6, Mucho Dinero on Hollywoodbets was 14-1. There's been some support into 10-1. And then we got the 4-10 favorite, number 11. See it again. Graham, take it away on your thoughts of this odds-on shot.
Well, obviously the principal interest here from a betting perspective, Dees, is the Quartet Maxi pool. We've got a carryover. We're expecting that pool to reach 4 million rand, and I won't hear of defeat. Number 11, See It Again. He's entitled to be that short in the market, the shortest price favourite since Horse Chestnut delivered by 8 lengths in the 1999 renewal of the Met. I'm not expecting See It Again to win by 8 lengths. He's not that kind of a horse. but I'm not looking for any ghosts here. See it again to win it and to win it well. He's a pick six banker. He's got to be your quartet banker as well. So what will run second, third, and fourth? Well, I'm expecting the Justin Snaith runners, Pakaya, Mucho De Niro, and Royal Aussie. I think Royal Aussie will get home over the 2,000 metres, and he was finishing off the King's Plate really well to get home in third spot behind Charles Dickens and See It Again. So those are my principal three choices to chase See It Again home. I will also give some consideration for number 13, Rascallion. Interestingly, Rascallion, a late declaration, gets blinkers for the first time. He's cherry ripe. It's his third run after a rest. He ran a very good race in the Met last year when suffering a bit of interference and yet finishing only a couple of lengths behind Jet Dark. So Rascallion goes into the mix. And this horse, Montine, very interesting runner. He's much improved. He's going the right way. 2,000 metres right up his alley. So he also warrants consideration for the quartet purposes, along with perhaps Al Mathanis, without question. Once, the minor money D's is up for grabs. So how you play this quartet is entirely up to you. There's a number of ways you can structure it. Whatever way you're structuring it, you have to bank at number 11, See It Again to win. I will be gutted if he gets beat. He shouldn't get beat. He doesn't deserve to get beat. Pierce Stradom and Michael Roberts, interestingly, they've only ever won the Met once each as riders. Michael Roberts won it in 1975 with Sledgehammer. Stradom won it in 2003 with Angus. And here they combined for their second ever Met winner. And of course, owner Nick Johnson, he won it last year with Jet Dark. So I'll leave the minor placings up to you. I do think the Snaith horses, Pakaya, Mucho De Niro, and Royal Aussie will be right there. But I don't hear of defeat for number 11, See It Again.
I've jotted down a quartet for the guys, Graham, just as a guide. 11, a bank up. We're in agreement with 3, 6, and 13 for second. And for third and fourth, I don't want to include the field, and I'm trying to get it, for a better spend. For second, 3, 6, 13. And then for third and fourth, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, and 13. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, and 13. Include that for third and fourth. That spend will be 126 Rand. But if you want to include one more runner for second, then consider Graham's choice there. Number 8, Royal Aussie, who he does make as part of his play. 3, 6, and 8 are his numbers to follow. 11, See It Again home. The 10th race is the Western Cape Stayers. It's a Group 3 over 2,800 meters. And punters have been busy here, Graham, with number 3, Aragosta. 28-10, Hollywoodbets now 15-10. Number 4 at 11-2. Then we got horse number 11 at 6-1 and 13 at 6-1. Graham, Aragosta, it's 2,800 meters. There are some stayers in the race that demand the utmost respect, but he's the horse that's attracted all the support at 15-10, Graham. I don't know if you will be taking those odds if it is come race time and you want to have a go on a horse here. Will it be a type of horse that you'll back?
Not at these odds. He is my top choice. He's entitled to be favourite, but I think he's now too short in the market. I think he's probably should be around 5-2, 3-1, but the punters are confident. Richard Faree gets on extremely well with Aragosta. He's ridden him to 3 victories already. He won his penultimate start over 2,500 metres very impressively. The race didn't pan out for him last time out over 2,500 metres when in a very slow run race he raced around the field, went to take it up and found no extra in the closing stages. But I can't believe that this is absolutely a one-horse race. So no, I will not be rushing in to grab the 15-10, even though he's my top choice. Healthy respect for number 4, Triple Time, who tries the trip. 11 one-way traffic, well, what you see is what you get, but he always represents a bit of a threat. You can't ignore Nebras. He's a very, very, very good stayer, and he's only had one start over the course and distance. He ran second on that occasion. And then number 10, Blackthorn, who is stable companion to Aragosta. Now, when it comes to Mike de Kock and it comes to stayers, yes, Aragosta is clearly the stable elect, but would I be surprised if number 10, Blackthorn, came through to upstage his more fancy stable companion? No, I wouldn't be. So my 5 runners in order of preference are 3 Aragosta, 13 Nebras, 4 Triple Time, 11 one-way traffic, and 10 Blackthorn. Aragosta entitled to be favourite, but not for me at those odds, and not a banker.
Yeah, if you're going to judge him on that last starter behind Future Swing, it brings a lot of horses back into play here. And some of those horses were running on smartly that day from off the pace. Horses like One Way Traffic and Nebraska, to name a few, that are trading at 6-1 compared to the odds of Aragosta at 15-10. I think Graham is going with 3, 13, 4, 11 and 10 as possibly horses to play around with in race number 10. And then we close things off here, Graham, in race number 11 with a maiden plate. What a race they've put on for the last. I say this because if you get this quartet in the last race, I can promise you that whatever your spend is, you're going to get a sizable return on your investment, a proper return to end things off on the day. Number 1 is 8-1. Number 5 is 6-1. Number 8 is at 11-2. 9 at 8-1. 10 at 8-1. 13 at 8-1. How's this betting, Graham? Number 17 at 7-1. Hollywoodbets horse number 19, Azuri, has been back 66-1 into 40-1. And horse number 20 is at 7-1. Graham, good luck trying to make sense of it all in race number 11. And to you, the valued racing fan, well, hopefully you can get the quartet here, but maybe Graham can be of some help. Graham, over to you.
Not much D's. It's a very strong maiden. A clear indication again that owners want to win a race on a day like this, even if it's a maiden plate. Toughest race in the card, extremely competitive, and no doubt a form line to follow going forward. Many with chances. A couple of equipment changes. Number 1, Celtic Chief gets a tongue tie. Number 2, Dance Master gets blinkers. Number 3, Damio gets blinkers. Wow, where do we start? My value bet of the day. My top choice in the race, but obviously with no confidence. Number 13, Riverstone, trading at double-figure odds. I think you'll get a very good each-way run for your money. You've got to throw him to all trifectas and quartets, etc. This is the final leg of Jackpot 3. The more horses you've got, the better chance you've got of getting through, because there's some very talented maidens in the race. So number 13, Riverstone, is my top choice. Number 17, the US of A, my second choice. Number 20, Hudia, who brings all the right form into the race, having run second in both his first 2 starts. He's drawn on the extreme outside. I'm not sure in a 20-horse field that's going to count in his favour, but he obviously warrants respect. Speed Rooster, 6 places from 7 starts. The form speaks for itself, but he just seems to get himself beat all the time. Peregrine Falcon is your marginal favourite at 11-2. He's going to love going the extra 200 metres. I'm waiting for that form line to be confirmed, so I'm not totally convinced about the Amberlock form line. A couple of horses have come out further down the field and not performed that well. Peregrine Falcon, if he won, of course, it would almost seem obvious, because he promising debut, going the extra 200 metres, but I'm waiting for that form line to be franked before I get carried away. Iguguletu comes out of that same form line. So Iguguletu brought moderate form into the Amberlock race, ran second. Peregrine Falcon ran third. Obviously, one can expect a lot of improvement from Peregrine Falcon. He's got a 5-star pedigree. Star performer, well, he started out in KZN. He's been ultra disappointing. He came with a huge reputation, but the fact remains he's had 5 starts and is yet to get the job done. Will he get it done in this strong field? Well, that's open to question. On his very best form, Celtic Chief has a chance. So very strong maiden. You have to go wide. If I'm in trouble coming into the last race, which hopefully we're not, then I'll have a little speculative each-way bet on Gareth Van Zyl's runner, Riverstone. But it's a tough race.
If you're having a bad day, it could get worse in race number 11, but we're suggesting that if you like something, there's plenty of value to be had with a number of the runners here, including Graham's value selection, number 13, Riverstown. It is a quartet to catch, and whatever the result is, there will be winners in waiting from this race, race number 11. And that's the wrap of the 11 race card. So for now, let's get up Graham's suggested bet. for the race meeting. Graham, I see you've gone for the big one, the Pick Six.
It's not my style to try and venture a pick six selection because we know how tough they are to catch. We know how difficult it's been over the last couple of months, many carryovers. But it's a massive pool. It's a 10 million rand pool. It's a world pool race day. So, and with so many conditions, weight for age races, we've got a bit of a chance. So here we go. First leg numbers: 3 Pomodoros Jet, 4 At My Command, and 6 Quasi for sure. There are 3 others that you might want to consider: Captain Fontaine, Silver Operator, and Underworld. But I'm going to pin my hopes on the well-drawn horses. I'm expecting At My Command to win. He should win this. 3, 4, and 6. Then the Olympic Duel Stakes, Winter Cloud, a firm first choice, but the backup is 2 Distant Winter, 3 Hunting Trip, and 12 Fantastic. Then the Cape Flying Championship, the obvious 2 horses, 8 Thunderstruck, and 9 Isi Vunga Vunga, but just in case, throwing in number 6 Bereave. The other 2 to consider there, if you're going wider, would be Dice and Sergey. Then on to the Majorca Stakes, I'm including 4 Red Palace, 5 Princess Keller, and 11 Beach Bomb. I'm expecting those 3 to be enough. Then the Gold Rush. Well, as we discussed, it's Bavarian Beauty or bust. So if you make Bavarian Beauty a banker, you could do worse. But I'm throwing in numbers 4 Sunshine Day, 7 Infrared, 8 Tail of the Comet, 10 Bavarian Beauty, 13 Rapidash, and including the scratching number 16 Storm Brasco to double up if indeed Bavarian Beauty lands the odds. And then nobody's arguing with the banker at the back. In the big one, the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met, banker number 11. See it again. As mentioned a moment ago, my lurker, my value bet for the Stone at big odds to run well in what is the toughest race in the car, the maiden plate over 1,200 meters, which closes off the race meeting at 6 o'clock.
Well, I've just multiplied Grand Perm out there, and it works out to 648 Rand. Will give you a full unit. Of course, 65 Rand will be 10%. Graham, it's been an absolute pleasure previewing this massive race day with you. And yeah, if you're on course, Graham, are you going to be racing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth?
There's no other place to be, Dees.
Well, all the best, Graham, and thanks you for the time. And to you, the valued racing fan, wish you all the best on this massive race day. Hopefully it turns out to be a hugely profitable day for you, a day of your dreams. On behalf of Gallop TV, Graham Hawkins, myself, Dees, Diana, and have a blast. Find all the winners. Make a huge profit. And until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.